Rick Jensen on 1150 AM, 1017 FM, WDEL.
So here we are Wednesday, right after the news at 1:30. What? Randy, why are you looking at me like that? If it's Dan White, it's got to be Wednesday, 1:30. Actually, my bad. I was out of town, took my birthday off, and I said, Dan, we got to get you on, man, because he always has great advice for people, being a financial planner for over 25 years. I'm also a client, full disclosure. I love the guy, and he's on the phone right now, always with good advice and news to help us through trying to manage, what do you do if you're trying to plan for, retirement income? Hey, Dan.
Hey, Rick, how are you? And a belated happy birthday.
Oh, thanks a lot. No. I did what you do. I went to the beach. It was great, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Actually, I did something that you've done that I've only done, I think, 2 times now. Go to the Jersey Shore.
Okay.
I'm a beach guy. I love Dewey Beach, man. That's my love. I love that. But we're very, very blessed to be invited by some friends to go there for a day. And I never really spent time in Cape May. I went there for a day trip once a long time ago. And it's very attractive, overpriced, and I don't think I'll miss anything if I don't go again. So the sand is very nice, very beautiful, and they charge you, by the way. I think it's a nickel per grain that you step on. No? It's Jersey, very, very expensive. Fun stuff. So that's another reason why we have to save for retirement, because things cost money and you don't have the income unless you've saved it up. And I saw your email from today, and I thought, wait a second. The year of death RMDs. Now, is that the year of the death of RMDs, or what are you talking about here?
Well, this gets a little bit tricky because, we're coming up toward the end of the year, and I know a lot of people when they're of that age, whether it be 70 and a half from a couple years ago or 72 this year, you have to take a required minimum distribution. A lot of people will contact the custodian and, they say, well, I'll take it at the end of the year because, I'll get the growth for the whole year, that kind of thing. So they set it up automatically maybe for December 1st or December 15th. And these custodians get really kind of jammed up toward the end of the year because everybody's trying to get their RMD out. But what happens when the IRA owner who has to take the required minimum distribution dies before taking his RMD?
Oh.
That year of death RMD or whatever portion remains must still be withdrawn.
Really?
Upon passing, the year of death RMD immediately becomes the responsibility of the beneficiary. If it is not withdrawn before the end of that calendar year, it is a missed RMD and potentially subject to the 50% penalty. So, and even if the IRA owner dies late in the year, let's say you die, December 20th, you got 10 days to get that RMD out if it hasn't been taken out already. What
if they pass away, and when they pass away now it's rolled over into an inherited IRA?
Well, that's fine, but you still have to take the RMD in the year of death. If the account owner was of age where he was subject to an RMD, before you can even set up the inherited IRA, you have to take the RMD out.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's no getting around it, and it's a little warning sign because, like I said, maybe some people have it set up automatically for December 1st, and then let's say, God forbid, they die in October. So did they tell anybody it was supposed to come out, and then it shows up December 1st in a check, but the person's dead. So you got to return it to the custodian, and then you have to have it reissued to the beneficiary all before the end of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
See, they just want to grab your money. That's all it is. They just want to grab your money.
They kind of do. Yeah, they kind of do. No doubt about it. So it says if the RMD is then erroneously paid to the deceased account owner, the RMD has to be returned to the IRA and properly distributed to the beneficiary. Now, it doesn't matter if you have multiple beneficiaries. You can pay it out to one, you can pay it out to all of them, it doesn't matter, but you have to get that RMD out before the end of the year.
I wish they would
living or dead.
Yeah, right. Well, they want your money, living or dead. They're going to extract it from you. And if you have nothing, well then, what's your blood type? So this is interesting to know. This is why you do what you do. Dan, you're a financial planner, and you have to study and learn all these things. It's good to know. And sadly, there are many, many people now who have inherited this because of elderly parents and coronavirus and COVID and all that as well. So this is really, sadly, quite meaningful, likely for thousands of Delawareans.
Yeah, you run into this quite a bit, and like I said, as we're approaching year end, we're going to blink and we're going to be into 2022. I just want to make people aware of this, that if somebody does pass and they are of the age where they have to take these things, make sure it's been taken in the year that it needs to be taken.
Well, let me ask you a couple of questions here, because you said, people take it out December 1st. They want to wait to the end of the year. Often it's in a retirement account, and it might be an investment fund of some sort, and they want to make sure that they're giving all the yield they possibly can before they take it out, and they withhold the taxes and then distribute it in whatever way that they do. But here's what I'm wondering, and it comes from a true story. So not too long ago, a few years ago, I guess, a friend of mine was doing his taxes, and he filed for an extension. For example, this year, you had to file and pay by 2 days ago for the LLCs, and then for your personal taxes, I believe it's October 15, which is in less than 30 days. Okay. So what happened was, at the time, I think the personal was due like September 15 at the time. And he went to his accountant on September 1st. And he said, okay, here's all my stuff. And the guy said, dude. And I think he actually said, dude. He said, dude, you're not my only client. I got 40 other people. I'm working 14 hours a day, 15 hours a day to get everybody's taxes done, by the 15th here. And you're giving me 2 weeks to do yours. I just want you to know it may not get done in time. And my buddy goes, well, no, it's 2 weeks to go. You got 2 weeks. No, I've got 40 people waiting in line. I'm working on all these. He brought in a friend of his who's also a CPA, and he's paying him something like $25 an hour or something to help him go through all of his clients because they were so late. And what happened is it did get filed late, and I don't remember he never told me if there was a penalty or anything. He was just angry that it occurred. So in listening to what you're saying now about the required minimum distributions, I'm wondering, is December 1st enough time, whether it's TIAA CREF or if it's Fidelity, Vanguard, whatever you got? Is that really enough time to do something like that? Is it less complicated, obviously, than doing taxes? Because it is pretty quick to calculate what the distribution is going to be. Or is December 1 plenty of time for them to get this thing done?
Well, a lot of the custodians have this stuff automated. So if you set it up automatically and you have a direct deposit set up to your checking account, then it's not a problem. But if you don't have that set up and now you're calling the custodian December 1st, hey, I need to get an RMD out, you're probably still okay. But you get into the last 2 weeks of the year and they are scrambling. So I wouldn't let it go that late. And check with them beforehand. I mean, you can call them at any time and say, hey, what's your lead time on getting RMDs processed?
I was telling a buddy of mine about this sort of thing. It's a joke. It's a joke. I just want to know it's a joke. Well, get it out now before the market crashes, because it always crashes in December. He goes, what? I said, no, sometimes it's November.
October's usually the witching month, as they say.
Yeah.
So who knows what will happen this year.
October, yeah. No, my brother and I were talking about this stuff yesterday, and, because we both made investments in the market with roller. So you get a 401k, and then you roll it over into an IRA, and then it's self-directed in some ways. And even if it's not a technically self-directed IRA, and you find companies you want to invest in, things like that. And we were thinking, we were talking about this, because we've both been thinking the same thing. Well, at what point are you going to sell stocks that you like, companies you like Coca-Cola? It's 3% dividend. It's pretty decent. Good company. People are going to be poisoning themselves with Coke for a long, long time. Why not? I bought NVIDIA years ago at like $8 a share. Look at it now, you go, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. But that's because my mom and I were talking about this. It's like communal investing in my family. And we're talking about this. We thought, so the bottom's going to fall out. There's going to be a bear market sometime. When do you do that? And then we bemoan the fact that there's no such thing as a good market timer. You can't really do that. And we decided, Dan, you know what? People who invest in the market, especially for the retirement, generally, we keep our money there. We might buy and sell a few things, but it's not like we go and sell everything because we think that the market's going to fall out. And I wonder if that's pretty typical. You work with a lot of people who have investments, the IRAs, the rollovers, the 401ks, 403bs, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm wondering, so my brother and I were talking about, well, people usually keep their money in the markets. They might sell a couple things here or there. Then they take the bad times with the good. Is that what you see in your practice as well?
Yeah, you really do. I mean, people tend to set these things and forget them, and what they fail to take into account is age and when do you need the money, because everybody kind of thinks, I was at a program years ago, and everybody thinks they're 15 years younger than they are. So, I've had people say, oh, in '08, I went through '08 and it came back, so no worries. I went through it in 2000. Yeah, okay, that's great. You were 20 years younger then.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the big difference. Okay, you're going to start drawing on this in a couple years. You don't have 20 years to go anymore. So it's a big difference, but we talk about sequence of return risk all the time. It's a big difference from when you're putting money into an account versus when you are taking withdrawals. It's a whole lot different when you're looking at pulling money out. So you got to be more cognizant of that. And as you get closer to retirement, you might have to scale it back a little bit.
Yeah, wise advice. Thanks. Appreciate it, Dan.
Yep. You have a great day, Rick.
You too. Have a great weekend. Dan White, Financial Wait. Don't go yet. Don't hang up.
Okay.
Financial planner specializing in retirement income, who's also the host of On Your Money Sunday mornings, 7 o'clock, cup of coffee, get yourself a little breakfast or something. Turn on WDEL. There's Dan with some great advice at 7 o'clock in the morning on Sundays. What's on the show this week?
It's kind of interesting, and this is a topic we have not addressed, I don't think, for a couple years, but September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. And, nobody likes to talk about life insurance, but there are reasons why, even at retirement, there might be reasons for you to own some life insurance, because if you have a pension, a defined benefit pension, if you're going to take a survivorship benefit for a spouse, then really what the pension company is doing, they're selling you life insurance. So there's a couple ways you can go about it, but we're going to talk about that a little bit this Sunday.
Yeah, people don't like to talk about because, I'm never going to use the money because I'm paying all this money and I'll never use it because I have to die to use it, and yada, yada. Right. True story. My uncle, he's totally into cars. He was a race car mechanic for Agagini in a big Indianapolis Indy 500 race car guy. And he was a genius. I mean, really, he was just a mechanical genius. Well, he bought cash value life insurance over the course of his life, and would take loans out of it to buy a car, and then he would pay. Mm-hmm. He would pay back the loan, and didn't damage the policy in any way. And then he would buy another one, and he built up cash. He got cash value in a life insurance policy. He'd take out a loan, pay himself to buy the car. And I thought that was actually a pretty ingenious thing to do.
Yeah, you can use life insurance for a lot of different things. I mean, people just think of it as term insurance, and there's different types, and you have to really get an education on it. But there are some tax advantages. You can kind of use life insurance as a Roth on steroids if you really want to overfund the thing. A lot of different uses for life insurance that people don't recognize. So it's worthwhile to get the information.
Yeah, because I remember one guy saying it's tax preferred savings. It's tax deferred? No. Yeah. He said, no, it's not tax deferred. It's tax preferred. I said, what do you mean? Well, you're saving up in a tax-free environment, but you take a loan out. You don't have to pay tax on a loan, and you pay it back. I thought, that's pretty smart. He says, yeah, it's like your own little bank with life insurance policy for your wife and the kids. I thought, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Anyway, Dan White, give him a call at 888-690-8820, and for no charge, if you want to take a look at what you got and where you're headed, and if you're going in the right direction, 888-690-8820, Dan White and Associates. Have a great weekend, my friend.
You too, Rick.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.